in Malachi chapter 4, verse 2, it talks about this messianic experience, and it says there that for you who revere my name, that's for anybody who reveres, who fears God's name, who serves him. Before I explain that, let's talk about the title it's used there. It says that the Son of Righteousness will rise. Well, you know that's a messianic title. Right. The morning star, the root of David, all these beautiful messianic titles. And we know that the Messiah is Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. So then this prophecy is about something the Messiah will do. And the Messiah is Jesus. Instead of saying the Son of Righteousness, let's put the word Jesus there because he is the Messiah. So this is a prophecy about something that he will do. The woman living in the first century, Jim, she absolutely would have known about this prophecy. And so it says that, but for you who revere my name, the Son of Righteousness, the Messiah, Jesus, will rise with healing in his wings. And so when the woman in this story comes to the area of Capernaum and she sees Jesus, she says to herself, if I just touch the wings, if I touch these wings, I know I'll be healed, because if he is the Son of Righteousness, I don't need to hear a sermon, I don't need to go anywhere. If he is who the Bible says he is, then I know that I will be healed. There was a will, there was a purpose there. She had to touch the wings, because if she knew in her heart that if she touched those wings and if he was the Messiah, there would be healing. And Jesus acknowledges it right away. Who touched me?
Yeah.
And immediately her issue of blood stanched. Mark continues, for she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I will be whole. And immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up. So that verse is added in there. And I have to put that before Luke. And immediately her issue of blood stanched. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I will be whole. I have to put that. What does Matthew say? For she said within herself. Okay, so it's only Matthew. If I may but touch his garment. If I may touch but his clothes. Okay, so touch and the word but are switched. If I may but touch his garment. His clothes, I shall be whole. I shall be whole. Okay, so the rest of those are the same. For she said, okay, so I'm just going to continue with what I know so far, Matthew and Mark. For she said, and then from Matthew only within herself. Mark, if I may. Matthew, if I may. Both, if I may. So now the question, if I may touch but his clothes. Okay, I'm just going to pick between clothes or garment. I think I'll go with garment. If I say his clothing. Involved in all the explanation I've heard about the wings and the fact that there was a prophecy, I heard it said that she knew that she could touch the tassel and that would be her healing. So maybe it is his garment, because the tassel is part of the prayer shawl, but the clothes are all of it. Everything he's wearing. So I think I might go with garment. And plus garment was used earlier. She did touch the hem of his garment. I guess the real question is, did she know about the prophecy of healing in the wings? I don't know if we could possibly know. The way it's written in Mark, it could be that she didn't, because she's saying if I but touch his clothes, so that if I just touch anything on him. But in Matthew, it might lead us to believe she did know about that prophecy. If I say she didn't, if I touch but his clothes, that might detract. What if I say that she did know, and she really didn't? That could be untrue. You know what? Since she did actually just touch his tassel on the prayer shawl, I think I'm going to say she knew. I don't want to put meaning where there is none, but I also don't want to detract from any drama that might be here. I'll say garment. Yeah. I'll leave it that possibly she did know, and she's aiming for his tassel. Yeah, I'll go with that. Before I even get there is this reordering of if I but touch his garment, Mark, if I may touch but his clothes. It's as if saying if I could touch any part of him, but even if it's only just his clothing, then I'd be healed. That kind of detracts from the idea that she did know what she was doing. Matthew, if I may only just touch that garment. It's not that if I can touch any part of him, even if it's just his tassel. It's that if I can only just touch that tassel. That has much more meaning. It's like she knew what she was doing, and she knew that prophecy is true, and right there is how her healing is going to come about. So I'll go with how Matthew has it. If I may only just touch his garment. I'll say both the words are here, but I'll go for the order of Matthew. But touch his, and then Matthew only garment, not clothes from Mark. Garment. Something that's really been impressed upon me is that God is like the ultimate dispatcher. In case you haven't noticed, and in case I didn't mention it before, I'm a truck driver. I'm in my cabin of the truck right now, and one of the biggest issues that truck drivers have is the only person they really speak with, their dispatcher. A lot of drivers, like my dad, just want to drive all the time. Driving is how you make money. They feel comfortable, they feel good when they're moving, when they're getting stuff done, and they just want to go, go, go. That's not what I'm going for. I want to be able to do stuff like this, which means I want to get time off. But the issue is that whether you want time off or you want to keep going as much as possible, that all has to be arranged by your dispatcher. And so the timing, the planning, and the preparation that goes way ahead of time before you know where to go and what time to be there, that's all done by the dispatcher. He plans for you. He sets up the schedule, looks for loads from wherever, whatever companies they have contracts with, to just figure out this is the perfect opportunity for you because you want to get there, or you have this many hours on your clocks, and now I want to utilize all that. So the dispatcher plans ahead of time and sets you up for success. And I've been understanding that God is like the ultimate dispatcher. He plans way ahead of time, and he's got contingency plans. If any little thing goes wrong, or you make this choice that kind of skews a little bit, he's already got 1,000 plans of what to do next. I don't believe in the idea that there is absolutely no free will, that as Calvinists like to purport that God's in control of everything, so therefore it doesn't matter what you do, God set it up that way. I think it's a bit different. I think it's, like I said, like a dispatch. He's got billions of contingency plans to know in case any little deviation might happen. All these other possibilities are what could then happen as a result. And he's prepared for whatever eventuality happens. He knows, but somehow that we don't understand, we still have choice, even though he knows the future. I really don't understand that part of God, but he knows ahead of time, and he sets up what's going on in the future. He sets up what you're going to go through. And the reason why I tell you about that is because I am now going through this story in Matthew and Mark and Luke, right, of the courageous woman reaching for the hem of his garment. And I have heard of this before, but over the past couple days, I was just introduced to Joe Amaral, his ministry, and how he's going through all the different meaning that is hidden in the life of Jesus, and how he fulfills prophecy, all the different nuances of the feasts. And I got a lot of this from Michael Root as well, but from both. And specifically the hem of Jesus' garment, the wings of his garment, the prophecies involved in that. It's just beautiful how, now that I'm going through this, I have this knowledge about it. I mean, it influenced my decision. I decided to go with this word, garment, instead of clothes, that she's thinking of through her mind. And I decided to go with if I may but touch his garment, instead of if I may touch but his clothes. Just that little swap It means all the difference to me. If anyone watches this and is inspired to go do some research on their own and learn about all that is working behind the scenes, all that is understood when you look in between the words, when you look at what's going on according to history and prophecy, there's so much more than just this happened, then that happened. No, it all has purpose, it all has meaning that will stay relevant for thousands of years as it is relevant today. God plans ahead of time. He sets things up for you to be successful. And He means the best for you. That's why we get to rejoice no matter what happens. If I may but touch His garment. Matthew. I shall be whole. Mark, I shall be whole. Luke, it's not here. Just that the issue for blood stanched. So I'll put, I shall be whole.